Hello viewers, welcome to the Editorial Analysis by Drishti IAS. In this section, we regularly take editorials from various newspapers and news portals for a better understanding of various issues happening in India and around the globe. Dear viewers, in this section, we first try to link the editorial with our UPSC syllabus. Then, we go analytical in order to understand some key points and at last some important concepts. Dear viewers, we truly hope that you like this initiative taken by Drishti IAS and your feedbacks are important for us. So kindly feel free to give your important feedbacks in the comment section. So without any further delay, let's commence our session.
Dear viewer, this video is available in Hindi as well. If you wish to watch it, please visit our Hindi YouTube channel, Drishti IAS. For your convenience, the link for this video in Hindi has been provided in the description below.
Today's editorial is taken from the Economic Times, published on 14th of December 2020. The title of today's editorial is Time for India's Net Zero Target. If we try to link today's editorial with our UPSC syllabus, we can link it with GS Paper 3, which has segments that include science and technology, environment, biodiversity, ecology. Some key points from today's editorial. On the 5th anniversary of the adoption of the Paris Agreement, it is clear that countries are more serious about tackling climate change. Of around 70 heads of states and government who spoke at the Climate Ambition Summit co-hosted by the United Nations, Britain, France, Italy and Chile, more than half announced new measures for combating climate change. See viewers, in our last editorial analysis, we discussed about the 5th anniversary of the Paris Agreement and what all changes we have seen. Recently, that is on 12th December 2020, a virtual meeting was held, which was of the Climate Ambition Summit. It was co-hosted by United Nations, Britain, France, Italy and Chile. Here, more than half of the participants, they have announced that they are actually working upon new measures for combating the issue of climate change. India should announce a target of achieving net zero emissions by 2060. Now, in this editorial, primarily we'll be speaking about what exactly is the need for India to ensure that they will achieve a target of zero carbon emissions by 2060. It is vital to appreciate that committing to climate goals is not quite donning a hair shirt. Transitioning to that goal through a low carbon economy offers immense opportunity for innovation, investment and growth. See, just setting out the target does not mean anything. The whole and sole focus here should be upon achieving that goal. And once India becomes successful in order to achieve the goal that it might set of becoming a zero carbon emission country, definitely there will be various opportunities waiting, whether we speak with reference to investment, whether we speak with reference to growth or any other ideas. We will have a tremendous amount of benefits regarding that. Now, before we move ahead, it is quite important for us to actually see what exactly the Climate Ambition Summit was. So, the Climate Ambition Summit, like I said, it marked the 5th anniversary of the Paris Agreement, and it basically provides a platform for government and non-governmental leaders to demonstrate their commitment to the Paris Agreement and the process associated with it. The objective of the Climate Ambition Summit was to set out new and ambitious commitments. So these are the three pillars of the Paris Agreement. Now, like we all know, the Climate Ambition Summit is hosted by the United Nations, United Kingdom, France, in partnership with Chile and Italy. Now, if we speak about the history of emissions, it is quite, why are we focusing on net zero emissions especially for carbon? So see, we will talk about what exactly is the history associated with it. Now, as the most abundant greenhouse gas in our atmosphere, carbon dioxide has become a direct proxy for measuring climate change. Its levels have varied widely over the course of Earth's 4.5 billion year history, over that long period, the amount of carbon dioxide definitely has varied. Historically, we can say it is the developed countries that have been the major contributors to the carbon emissions. See, there was a time when the United States of America had the highest historical emissions, standing at 25%. 25% contribution solely was by the United States of America. It was followed by the European Union, which stood at 22%, and then was China at 13%. If we speak about India's situation, India's present situation, India has a low carbon emission contribution of only 3%. So India already is doing quite well. Okay, now if we speak about the current status, the data which I have given to you, it is with reference to history. Now, if we speak about the current status has different rankings. China has the highest greenhouse gas emission, which is standing at around 30%. United States contribute 13.5%, whereas European Union is contributing 8.7%. If we speak about the current status with reference to the global emissions, again, India along with Bhutan, Philippines, Costa Rica, Ethiopia, Morocco, Gambia, these countries are actually those countries who are complying with the accords, with the Paris Accords. Only these countries. Like I said about India's contribution, how much India contributes, yet it is being said by a United Nations report that India's per capita emission are actually 60% lower than the global average. Whatever is the per capita emission globally, India's per capita emission are 60% lesser to it. See, for example, if I say if the per capita emission globally is 100, then we Indians, we are only emitting 40. So we are already doing our part. The emissions in our country, they grew 1.4% in 2019, and you can say that it was way lower than the average of 3.3% per year over the last decade. Now, in this situation, in order to reduce the emission, there are several measures which have been taken by the government of India. For example, number one, the BS6 norm, the Bharat Stage 6 norm. These are emission control standards put in place by the government to keep a check on air pollution. Okay. Number two, if we speak about the National Solar Mission, it is a major initiative of the government of India and also state governments to promote ecologically sustainable growth while addressing to India's energy security challenge. See, energy is something where India is working at a tremendous pace. And right now, if we speak about our position, we are fourth when it comes to renewable energy. So definitely this initiative is also worth mentioning here. One more initiative that the government has been following is the National Wind Solar Hybrid Policy of 2018. The main objective of the National Wind Solar Hybrid Policy is to provide a framework for promotion of large grid connected wind, solar, photovoltaic hybrid system for optimal and efficient utilization of wind and solar resources. Now, all these initiatives, along with many others, have helped India in cutting down its carbon dioxide emission by 164 million kgs. Okay, these initiatives have helped India in cutting down the carbon emissions by 164 million kgs. So it is already quite a great target that has been achieved. Now, if we speak with reference to what exactly net zero emission is, so we have to see net zero emission means that all man-made greenhouse gas emissions must be removed from the atmosphere through reduction measures, thus reducing the Earth's net climate balance. The focus on net zero emission is no man-made greenhouse gas will be emitted into the atmosphere. The target is to completely curb that emission. Okay. So these are some of the things, some of the initiatives that we should know, okay, and that are quite important. If we speak about the present scenario, there is no denying the reality of climate change. See, the issue of climate change is real. It's a real threat that is looming on our head. As a country with multiple vulnerabilities to climate change, considered a developmental deficit, India must consider implementing a long-term strategy to transition to a low carbon economy. See, we have many challenges, population being one of the biggest challenges before India. Yet we have to focus, we have to create such a strategy where we can perform a transition in order to become a low carbon economy. See, if we speak about low carbon economy, there are numerous benefits. If we speak about the benefits of low carbon economy, it presents multiple benefits. Number one, there will be a better atmosphere. There will be definitely an increment in the trade, employment. There will be no health issues. There will be energy security. And also, the most important benefit of low carbon economy can actually go and make sure that there is industrial competitiveness. So such things, when they come into picture, definitely there will be a great advantage to the economy of our country. A target of achieving climate neutrality or net zero greenhouse gas emission in 2060, backed up with a roadmap with clearly defined milestones and policy plan, is critical if India is to grow its economy and develop in a climate constrained world. See, there are many countries like China, South Korea, Japan. They all have declared that they will be coming to climate neutrality. Also, Joe Biden, during his election canvassings, he has said the thing time and again that once he comes to power, he will prepare a plan where America will also follow the same pattern. America will also follow the same suit of achieving climate neutrality. That means no greenhouse emission. The targets have been set by different countries to 2050, 2060, etc. So also, India has to work upon this if India really wants to sustain and develop in a climate constrained world. A net zero target will give the right signal to investment, policy, and innovation. There is a global shift towards sustainable investment. See, the pattern is changing now. The investment pattern is changing because the organizations, the countries, they are becoming more and more concerned with reference to the atmosphere. And definitely, whosoever is actually following the pattern of sustainable investment, they are actually getting an advantage out of it. Similarly, there is one initiative such as the ESG investing. Now, when I speak about the ESG investing, it is environmental, social, and governance investing. Now, it refers to a class of investing that is also called as sustainable investment or sustainable investing. Now, it is an umbrella term for investments that seek positive returns and long-term impact on society, environment, and the performance of the business. So, the kind of investment that India should promote, it has to be an ESG kind of investing. Because we have to consider each and everything. We have to see the environment, we have to see the long-term impact on society, and also how the business will perform. So such ideas, such things are definitely to be taken into consideration if India really wants to achieve its ambitious green plan. The way ahead. The rich countries' foot-dragging over transfer of know-how to developing countries, the failure to honor the decade-old promise to provide $100 billion a year by 2020 is a cause of concern. See, the developed countries are the ones who are actually not doing their part. The Green Climate Fund, we have spoke about the Green Climate Fund in the last video, okay? So, if I speak about the Green Climate Fund, it was an initiative where the developed countries, they actually agreed of paying $100 billion per year in order to fight against the issue of climate change. Now, this $100 billion would be used in order to provide technical help as well as financial help to the developing countries, okay, so that they can fight the issue of climate change. But the developed countries have not been doing right on their part, and the Green Climate Fund, even today, it's not working as it should have worked. Preventing dangerous level of warming requires the world to move to a low carbon economy, a development pathway that uses resources more efficiently and effectively, relies on clean energy sources, and produce less waste. See, we are well aware of how the warming level is increasing day by day. Now, this increasing global warming can only be stopped, or it can only be reduced, if the world decides to become a low carbon economy. Now, it's definitely a pathway which is quite difficult, but development can only be sought through this particular source. We have to make sure that whatever natural resources we have to use them efficiently, and we have to make sure that the usage of such resources is also optimum. We have to rely upon the clean energy sources, okay, and make sure that the waste production is very less. Unless these things are not followed, definitely the idea of achieving a low carbon economy will be very difficult, not with just respect to India, but also with respect to all the countries all over the globe. The transition which is critical for the health of the planet and improving lives, because that's the only way you can save humanity or humankind or the Mother Earth. If proper initiatives are taken, then definitely this is something which is achievable. Okay, so viewers, this was with today's analysis. Now, a question that can be framed with reference to today's editorial analysis is: discuss India's gains and losses at the Paris climate talks. So viewers, I hope you liked today's editorial analysis. Thank you very much.